She's, I mean, at the moment, moving back down to Cape Town after COVID started, and I went up the East Coast. We'll get to that later, but yeah, just getting back to Cape Town and settling back in, just like kind of reinstating the fact that like shit, I'm back in the city. Like, how am I gonna make it work for me? And like, not quite live the city life, but just do the best kind of things that I can in the directions that I may want to go. Yeah, like at the moment I'm working as a carpenter and a sign writer with a good friend of mine, Graham. And we're basically doing like lots of events based and like brand based stuff, like setting up like little chill areas or structures and stuff at events, and like kind of building things quite cleverly so that they can all be packed flat and packed away and put up just as easily as they can be packed away.
Are you like, do you have training in carpenting?
No, not really. I mean, when I was a kid, my dad worked as a carpenter for quite a while, and I learned a lot through him. It was like kind of my holiday job. Go assist him on his furniture building jobs.
It's a valuable skill, bro.
Yeah, it was. It's probably better than working as a waiter, I suppose.
I spent my holidays working, dude. Most of my holidays working on the farm. We had like a lot of like side hustles as well, like a lot of businesses. So that keeps you busy. But now later in life, it teaches you a valuable lesson, like a work ethic, you know.
Yeah. I do really like to work hands-on, and in the space that I'm working in now, it is very much hands-on. And so back then, like helping my dad out with work taught me how to use tools, which I was able to then go and use myself. Like I used to take all my old decks and turn them into like little cruiser boards, and then like sand off the graphics and repaint them.
Yes,
do like little projects like that.
That's fucking sick, dude.
Yeah.
Did you shape a little bit as well?
I've only shaped one board, which was like 5-6 years ago almost.
But you know what's going on?
Yeah, I worked like kind of here and there for a surfboard shaper in St. Francis, like painting surfboards for him since I was a kid too. And
who's that?
Simon Fish, like Fish Stick Surfboards.
Yeah, okay, quite.
Yeah, you know, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's a legend.
I don't know him. I've heard about him. Like, Dean's talked about him. Like, I've heard about him before. There's quite a few shapers up there, eh? J-Bay, Des is in J-Bay.
Yeah.
Stephen Sawyer's dad.
Yeah, man, they make such beautiful surfboards.
Yeah, apparently they're like well respected, dude. I don't know a lot about like surfing or shaping and stuff. I've learned a bit about it in the Eastern Cape and from hanging out with Dean and Gio and Liam a little bit, but and Kyle Myers as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're like well rounded. Des has been doing it for years. They're and they're such nice people too, dude. Yeah. I don't know if you've spoken to Des and his wife.
Yeah, I have.
Wow, dude, I've spoken to them in the past, and they were so supportive of what I wanted to do one day, and it was the first time I met them, so it was a flippin' rad experience.
Yeah, they're like a family of legends, like the classic J-Bay vibes, man.
Yeah. Do you remember the skate comps you had in like specifically J-Bay?
Yeah, those were super fun. I think I'd moved in with my bobs properly in Cape St. Francis when I was 15.
Yeah.
And I mean, like up until then, I'd pretty much just been skating in Cape Town most of the time. And yeah, like moved up there. They would have all these contests, so I'd go skate them. It was super fun. Like, it's a good crew of dudes out in J-Bay.
Yeah,
like, that place is wild, dude.
J-Bay is a pretty wild place.
Like, dude, you're getting like mugged in broad daylight, like skating.
Mugged
like
in J-Bay?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, we had an instance the one time where I don't know if you know Damon de Klerk.
The skater.
Yeah, he used to ride for Element.
Yeah. Like I remember him. He was I think he's in America now or something.
I Shit,
overseas?
man, I'm not too sure.
He's a rad skater, dude.
I know him and his brother were in New Zealand. I think they're in New Zealand.
In New Zealand, okay.
Yeah, but I used to skate with his little brother all the time, and then like a couple other homies. The one day while we were leaving the skate park, like these guys jumped us, and they stabbed Dean. He was like 12 years old.
No way.
Dude, it was fucking crazy. Like,
we're in the steps at the J-Bay skate park.
yeah, like just right outside the steps of the JV skate park. And like, dude, Dean got stabbed. It was fucking hectic. Pardon my language, but yeah, it was hectic, dude. Like broad daylight, like 3:30 in the afternoon.
Was there blood?
There was blood, man.
Okay, full.
Yeah. It was like we ended up going to visit him in hospital later that day. Like, thank God they missed all his vital organs, and he was like, I think like the next day he was like all hopped up on painkillers, like skating the park, and we were all trying to get him to chill out.
Where did they stab him?
They got him like just underneath his ribs and on his hip.
Just underneath his ribs.
And on his hip, yeah.
They missed his lung.
Yeah, they missed his lung. I think. Yeah, they missed all vital organs really.
I'm so glad they missed his lungs,
yeah,
dude.
Me too. But like we just kind of cruised around J-Bay, like skating all these super crusty spots. Like some of them are like barely skatable, dude. You're like navigating gaps into the road, like full of potholes.
Classic small town vibe.
Yeah, fully. It's like may as well have been skating dirt roads, dude.
Yeah, dude. I remember the bowl they had up in the mall. I think I got my first concussion in that bowl. I fell, and I did something stupid. I had like this rock to fakey thing, and then I would whip my board when I go back in. And on that whip, I got a hook on the coping, and then I fell with my head first on the bottom.
Oh, dude, that sucks.
And I just remember like memory fading. I was so confused for the rest of the day, and then we went through to Boardwalk Casino in PE, and I won some loot, bro. So it made it feel much better, much better.
Yeah, I mean that's always a good thing, dude. A little bit of bucks. Like, have you pay for the medical bills?
Exactly. I just want to put this heater off. It's flickering, so I think the microphones are picking it up.
I can reach it, dude.
Gotta turn the knob up, bro. Excuse. Oh wait, Tao. Let's check out these guitars, dude. What guitar are you drawing on now?
I'm playing like an Epiphone SG G400. It's like the Epiphone's version of the Gibson SG.
Do you know what's the deal with Epiphone copying that thing? Do they make a more affordable guitar, or what's the...
Yeah, they make like a more affordable one. I think Epiphone is owned by Gibson, and then they obviously have all the shapes and files to make their guitars. And I must say, like, you could almost call it like how Fender has Squier.
Yeah.
Like Gibson has Epiphone. But it's like they make such nice guitars for the prices that they are. This one plays and sounds really good. I'm enjoying it.
Sick guitar, dude. Such a sick guitar.
Looks like an axe, man. I dig it.
You got the G400?
Yeah.
I've played on that thing. It's such a sick guitar to play on.
Yeah, I dig it. It's well played in.
It's a good price for the guitar as well.
Yeah. Jeez, man, I got mine for so cheap. Like, bought it just before I left for the East Coast for lockdown. Spent like the last little bit of money that I had, and I was like, I'm getting this guitar. Like,
you've got quite a serious pedal collection as well.
Yeah, I got a few. I mean, one or two of them were like little cheap knockoffs, but they sound alright. Like, I just bought myself a valve amp recently, and that definitely has taken the tone to the next level, dude.
Word on the street, dude. I've heard that makes a big difference.
And the volume. Jeez, those things are loud.
Is that the PV?
Yeah.
It's a sick amp. It's an old amp, no?
I think that one's 90s. But like, I don't think there's much difference in the new ones. I think they just put a standby switch and a different cone in.
You got your amp fixed recently.
Yeah.
Tell me how that happened. Why you had to get your amp fixed, dude?
Yeah, that's a sad story, dude. Lost the love of my life. Brought it back to life. Yeah, we went up the East Coast to Wilderness to go play like a friend of ours' birthday party. She paid for our trip up there and stuff, and kind of met up with the other half of our band over there. And yeah, played the show. Show went really well. We finished our set, and there were like a couple other guys that we used to jam with, especially this one guy, JP. We like had a band with him called the Good Rolls. Myself, the bassist, and the drummer. And we wanted to play one of our sets. So like we got up, like just wanted to jam or carry on jamming. I think like third song in, I just like my amp just faded, and I looked back, and the birthday girl's like pouring an urn of water, like looking at me, like not noticing what she's doing, but like all over my amp. My amp just stops working. So like it honestly sounded like it got put in the pool. And yeah, switched it off, went to go like feel the back of it, and just like everything was soaked. There was like a pool of water in the back of the cab. Yeah. But yeah, she took responsibility for actions. She paid for it. Thank you, Robin. Doing God's work.
It's a good thing. I'm so glad she sorted that out for you.
Yeah, super stoked. They managed to get it all cleaned up and fixed. Fresh valves, all of that.
So they had to replace the valves?
Yeah, I think they replaced one valve and then all 4 tubes. And then they took the whole thing apart and cleaned it. Like, got rid of all the corrosion and dried it out liquor.
So is corrosion the main issue with your amp getting wet?
Yes.
Or does the water pull into the valves or something?
I think the water blows the valves, especially when they're hot, because they are glass, kind of like a light bulb in a way. But yeah, they're saying like if water gets into all the hardware and stuff, it starts corroding, and if you don't take care of it, like then you'll get wires corroding and resistors and all of that just kind of fucking out.
Dude, sounds like a nightmare to
So
me. That's
why they had to take the whole thing apart and clean it with alcohol and get rid of any rust that was in there, corrosion.
When did you start playing guitar?
I started, I think when I was about like 18. I just kind of went to a bar, I went to go stay with one of my dad's friends, and they had a guitar there, and I was like, they kind of started teaching me a little bit, and then I was like, shit, I want to get a guitar, and then they gave it to me.
Really?
Yeah. They just like had it sitting there for ages. I was like super intrigued by it, and they just gave it to me.
Acoustic guitar?
Yeah.
Yes, so treat yourself, my man.
Yeah, nothing special. It was like an old chord. I did like old chord classical guitar.
Perfect for laying down the foundation.
Yeah. And dude, that thing gives you a lick of hand cramp. I've still got it.
Oh yeah, no, dude.
It's like one of the worst guitars I've ever played. No.
Makes you appreciate the new stuff now.
Yeah. It's good to practice on, gets your hands strong. But yeah, it's terrible to play.
How long did you have that guitar before you switched over?
I bought my first electric guitar, I think, when I was like 19. Maybe like just under a year in to playing.
What did you buy?
I got like a little Fender Bullet Strat, and I bought an amp along with it. I still went to the music shop to go find it. And these guys like agreed to give me this combo of like this amp. It was a Marshall Valve State 30, which is like quite a nice little amp for what it is.
Yeah.
They like gave me the guitar and the Marshall at a nice price, and I didn't have the cash up front, so I would pay them in installments. So they made this deal for me, and I just like they like held on to the stuff for me, and I had like 3 months to pay it off. So like every time I had a little bit of money, I'd like ask my mom to take me to the shop and like go pay it off.
Well done, dude.
Yeah. Then I paid off the guitar, and then they gave me the guitar, and then I carried on paying off the amp. So I had this electric guitar, and I was just like jamming out. A good friend of mine is a pretty good musician, and he stayed like a block or two away from me. And I used to just go over to his house, and he like showed me quite a lot, and I got to jam with him. That like really got me psyched on playing.
Where were you living when all of this went down?
I was in Bloberg.
Cape Town. Okay.
In Cape Town. So I just come down from Cape St. Francis, I think when I finished high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, so you've been like around a bit, né? Like,
yeah.
Where were you born?
I was born in Plet.
Okay.
Well, born in Eisner. Lived in Plet for a couple years. then Hout Bay, dude. I was in Hout Bay. Like, yeah, Cape Town. And then Cape St. Francis. Then back to Cape Town. Then back to Cape St. Francis. Then lived in Wilderness. Like, just kind of cruised around a lot.
So during the J-Bay skate contest, right?
Yeah.
The one we judged that one year, I think you won that one, King of the Park.
Yeah, that was quite a crazy day, dude.
Yeah, it was a fucking sick day. Were you living in the area back then?
Yes. Yeah, I was.
Cape St. Francis.
Yeah, I was staying in Cape St. Francis at that stage.
Okay. When seeing you around a lot, were you surfing most of the time?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. What year was that?
That was...
It was 2019.
I think it was like 2018 maybe.
Okay, 2018. I think I was up visiting then. I was staying in Cape Town during 2018.
Flip it,
I can't remember how... I was up visiting because I was staying with a friend of mine in Cape St. Francis at that stage. Yeah, I had bronchitis, and I was super sick, and I got like dragged out to go out the night before, and like had a super gnarly hangover, and was really sick. Like I could barely breathe. And my mate gave me his bucky to drive through from Cape St. Francis after like he didn't want to take me. I like almost didn't have a lift, but pulled in. Got there, I almost crashed his car on the way up.
Shit, dude.
Yeah, I was driving that dirt road in between Cape St. Francis and Jeffreys Bay.
Full depth.
Like, yeah, I hit a donga.
What, at 120, at 140?
No, she's not that fast, like maybe 80.
Okay, it's fast. That's fast on a
that road sucks as well, dude. Oh. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. I was pretty psyched to get on the roll in that contest. Like the beginning was so hectic. I could not skate at all.
No, you came. I remember it clearly. Like you came through in the second part of the contest. You came through strong.
Yeah.
And your last run there was solid. I mean, you nailed everything.
Yeah, I think I just like had a bunch of panadas and some food, and I felt better. Felt a lot worse later that day.
You scaled down on skating a lot, no?
Yeah, like living in Wilderness, there's like nowhere to skate there, and they had the park up in George, which closed down like just before I got to Wilderness.
It's good that the park was there, but at the end it was a rough park to skate to. That like the metal ramps were if you're used to wood and like cement and stuff, the metal ramps, it's difficult to skate after a while.
Yeah, for sure. I mean that whole park got taken away before I even got there, so it was like lots of surfing, and like I'm kind of moved to Wilderness to be there with like all my chums, and like the music scene in Wilderness is actually pretty big for such a small place. There's lots of people who love to jam, and like they have like open mic nights all the time where you can like go go play songs with your friends or whatever. So like, just got really into playing music with those. Like started a little bit of a band, and just surfed a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you? Is there like a regular surf spot? Is it Vic Bay? Where do you go?
Yeah, the regular spot is definitely Vic Bay. There's a couple other spots in the area, and like, if you're willing to drive a little further, there's like Mossel Bay to go and surf.
Yeah.
Like,
I went down with. Sorry. Got a break wind. I went down with Carl Myers once, and he was frothing on Vic Bay and Mossel Bay.
Yeah, they're such fun spots to surf, dude.
The Mossel Bay one is at the across the caravan park, right?
Yes.
Is that the only spot where you can surf in Mossel Bay?
No, there's a couple others to surf. They're quite a lot more fickle than your like bigger swell, and they're a little bit closer to Seal Island where all the sharks live.
Gets a little bit dodgy, mate.
Yeah, I mean I'm a little bit dodged out by surfing that side.
Okay.
But I mean, we used to go surf Wilderness Beach Break, and a couple paragliders have told us some pretty crazy stories of how many sharks they see on the back line there.
Have you had any like run-ins with sharks or like experience?
Yeah, like a few, but none really too hectic. I mean, I think the worst thing that's ever happened to me is like a shark bumped my board a couple times. But otherwise, like seeing them, especially on the East Coast and the Garden Route, is definitely a common occurrence.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad always kind of told me like, don't be afraid of the shark that you can see, as the shark that you can't see. That's the one that's gonna get you.
Heavy.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. Over the years, my point of view on like being scared of seeing a shark has changed quite a bit. Like around the time where you might have like quite a close shark encounter, you get a bit sketched out. So, like, and then if you have one that's not so gnarly or haven't had one in ages, you kind of get super confident. Like go surf super sharky spots all the time without seeing sharks. Like that kind of stuff breeds confidence. Until it happens, then you put your tail between your legs for a little while again.
Have you seen somebody get attacked by a shark?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But I have seen. Well, I do have like a good friend of mine got bitten by a great white on his leg at our local surf spot, like just down the road from where my family's house is now.
A great white?
Yeah, little baby one.
Okay. Little baby shark, basically.
Yeah, gave him a little love kiss.
Golf gone.
Yeah.
Really?
No. No, he made a full recovery, dude.
I'm so glad for him, dude. I always wonder if a big shark has to attack you, like what must that force feel like when a big shark attacks you? You know, it must feel like a car running into you or something.
It must be something similar. Like lots of people who like even just been bumped by sharks, like get bumped completely out of the water when they get attacked from underneath. It's like, dude, it's such a gnarly thing to actually be speaking about. A homie of mine from Wilderness side, like, he had an encounter at one of our local spots over there, and it was just like pretty crazy how he said he didn't even know what happened. Like the board, like him and his board just got launched out of the water from underneath, and he had like a tooth mark or something in his board, and it knocked all his fins out, but didn't get him, and then like kind of swam away.
So that thing just swam up, stole his fins, and then fucked off again.
Yeah, so it like knocked them out. Pretty crazy. And that, like, I don't think that was a really big shark, but the force that they have when they come at you, like, just, they can swim pretty fast, and they're pretty heavy. It's just like a big chunk of muscle, I suppose.
Yes, dude. When they breach the water like that, you can see it's like just pure muscle.
Dude, you see how like a seal gets absolutely annihilated by sharks, dude.
Have you seen how they throw seals through the air? the amount of force that goes into something like that. Let's check some videos.
It's absolutely crazy.
Let's check some videos on seals going through the air. On the old YouTube, the old faithful.
Yeah, this guy who flies drones that I know worked on the one Shark Week, and they like captured footage of the sharks hunting off Robberg in Plettenberg Bay. You see how they chase them so hectically, like almost more agile than the seal.
When you walk through, have you ever hiked through Robberg? Have you ever been through a hike through?
Done like a little one, like just off of the beach, cruising up there.
Apparently, there's a lot of sharks around there. Air jaws, bruh. Dude, orcas. Let's check this. Shark throwing seals.
Like this stuff is crazy, dude. I must say I'm more intrigued by watching these than it does make me scared. Like it's pretty crazy that we're able to capture these kinds of things.
Yeah, it's flippin' crazy. It's not a shark, but it's an orca. Apparently, transient orca punts a seal 80 foot into the air.
I've seen this clip. This is crazy, dude.
Apparently, orcas are like pretty vicious.
You see how that thing is flying, man?
Where is it? I didn't see it. Oh, there it is. Yes, it's shame, bro. There he goes again.
Like, imagine how that must feel. The amount of force that takes to get the seals aren't like they're not lightweight, dude.
No, it's what, like half a human, right?
They're full of blubber. They're like super fat. I don't know. Have you seen the size of the seals in the Hout Bay Harbour? Those things are huge, dude.
They are. But is that a seal?
That's a seal. Yes, that's a Cape Fur seal.
Because that thing's big, dude, and you get different kinds. You get a seal that looks like a staffy as well.
Yeah.
Flippin' cute. Or staffy looks like a seal. I don't know which way. Dude, so when did you get drunk for the first time?
This is a funny story.
You've never been drunk?
Jeez, man. Definitely. I think the first time I got drunk was when I was like 16 or 17. I think like 16. Like my oldest friend Alex, he was in J-Bay for the J-Bay Open, and I was obviously living in Cape St. Francis, and we hadn't seen each other for years. He is a couple of years older than me, and invited me to come stay where he was staying for a few days. So I went over there, and he was like, "We're gonna get pissed. Like, if you want to roll with the big dogs, you gotta piss in the long grass." And I was just like, "Yeah, whatever, dude. Let's do it." And I think we were getting like, I think it was cane and cream soda and crackling.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so that was like the first time I ever got drunk was at the J-Bay Open, drinking crackling and cream soda.
Dude, did you have a hangover?
I had a hangover, yes. Yes, I think the second day, like we ended up doing it again, and we got like crazy drunk, dude. I don't remember much of it, but I think like the DJ at the club that we were partying at was like carrying me around the dance floor on his shoulders, and like just pretty debaucherous, dude.
Did you end up in Jollies?
I did go to Jollies at one point. It was like almost like a week-long experience, or like a few, like 2 weekends and the week in between that, and I went for each weekend, and at one of them I ended up at Jollies. That place is whack, dude.
I've been to Jollies. Afrikaans people love that place, bro.
Ja, bro.
Langarm, it's got the full package, brandewijn and Langarm.
Crazy. I mean, I was really small up until I was like 17, 18. I'd only really started growing, so like myself and it, like I was definitely trying to pick on me quite a bit.
When you went to
yeah, especially like the guys from my school, they were like all these big Afrikaans like farmer dudes, and I would take the absolute piss out of them when they would like try and bully me, but it wouldn't work because I just laugh at them, make fun of them. Like at one point, like this dude had me up against the wall by my throat, like telling me like skateboarding and surfing's for pussies, like you're only a man if you can milk a cow. And I was just like, dude, what the fuck?
You should have told him, I can milk a cow, dude. Why don't you come skate and surf, bro?
I was like, dude, I ended up like I broke him down so badly, man. But like, he was trying to like pick on my shit, so I picked on him back. Definitely not the path of least resistance, but it was pretty funny. Like when he was like, "You're only a man if you can milk a cow," and I was like, "No way, like is this what you're basing your manhood off of?"
That's what brandewijn does to you, dude. Makes you jack up a brother against the wall, and then the first thing you try is you tell him like he can't milk a cow.
I think I only tried brandy and coke for the first time when I was like 18 or 19.
And what do you give it a rating out of 10? What
Mother's milk, baby.
It's like milking a cow, bro.
Yeah, like a brandy's in a rum. Like not all the time, but when there's a time for it, and when that time comes, it's oh so good.
I know what you mean. Like as soon like I'm still very close with all my friends from school, and one thing I've noticed with that Afrikaans crowd is we'll start with beers, and everything would be relaxed, and we'll be chatting. As soon as we switch over to the brandy, things get wild, dude.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 brandies in, we're speaking like another language, brother. It's flipping. I love brandy.
Yeah,
I really
language
love
is called Tati.
Yeah, I speak it fluently.
Yeah, took a lot of cock. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I always get super like smiley and giggly on brandy and coke.
Yeah.
Like my cheeks get hurt at some point.
Yeah.
They start aching because I just don't stop smiling for some reason.
I believe that different kinds of alcohol give you like different kinds of effects. Like for example, crackling will make you. It feels to me like it will make you blind.
Yeah, make you blind and forget your name.
Yeah, and
That's me. I know.
yeah, I've been there as well.
Yeah, dude.
Makes you blind and makes you forget shit.
Tastes pretty good.
It's good and it's cheap.
Yeah.
And then
the forbidden fruit
yeah.
of the liquor store.
And then I've had this thing called amaretto. It's an almond liqueur. It's pretty nice as well, but doesn't give you the buzz that brandy gives you. And I don't know.
Pretty sure it just make you feel sick.
Yeah, like it's not something you're gonna like drink straight through the night.
Yeah.
But I feel that way about brandy too. Like,
and I've met a couple of people who drink some pretty questionable things throughout the night.
yeah. Especially if they're going for cocktails, then you know, flipping hell, in for a wild ride, bro.
Yeah, I don't go for cocktails.
I've had some pretty vicious nights on cocktails, dude.
I'm sure you have.
Mm. You
I'm
only need one.
I'm a beer and tequila kind of guy.
Fuck, how do you drink tequila, dude?
I don't know, it's good.
I really struggle with I'm a Jägermeister guy. I can take the medicine, but I can't take the tequila.
Yeah, I feel like Jägermeister makes me feel a lot worse than tequila does.
Do you like a specific kind of tequila?
Yeah, well, some are definitely better than others. Like Don Julio is pretty good. I really like that one.
Don Julio.
That's quite an expensive one. The good old is like a El Humidor Gold.
Okay, treat yourself.
But when it comes down to it, it's like, give me whatever you got, man. We're on the joel.
Give me your cheapest tequila. I've got 2 rand. Give me your cheapest tequila.
Yeah, if only.
Random question, dude. So when I sometimes watch movies, like for example Marley and Me, like there's a scene where Owen Wilson takes the dog and like they have to put the dog out.
Yeah, I know that scene.
And then I cry during that scene. I get very emotional.
I cried during that scene the first time I watched it.
So the question, to get back to the question, do you cry during movies, and do you find yourself to be an emotional person sometimes?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she's with like especially growing up, like being a pretty emotional person. Like some movies definitely put me in my feels. Like I haven't cried in a long time for anything really. I think like maybe a little drunk cry here and there, like when I'm really down in the dumps. Like Christmas time's always a pretty gnarly one. I'm like never with my family.
Why?
Like living up the East Coast, money's tight, dude. So I just like always kind of spend my time up there. And yeah, my mom lives down in Cape Town, and she's kind of like the only person who I really would spend Christmas with.
Yeah.
Or my sister's up in Cape St. Francis. Like yeah, sometimes I can't get there, so just fucking kick it with the homies. We like to call it the Lost Boys Christmas. All go out for some drinks and get nice and wasted, play some pool.
The wilderness homies.
Yeah. It's always good fun.
I like a family Christmas, but I do enjoy a homie Christmas as well. One of the best Christmases I had was spent in wilderness as like a kind of like a homie Christmas with me and my sister. And we rented kayaks from Ferry Nome, and then we rode up that river. And then was super rad mission, got to the waterfall, came back and the weather changed. So within like a split, you know how the weather changes up there.
Yeah.
Right? So within a split second, it changed from, we couldn't find the launch site. So we dropped the boat off. We rode into the little lake that meets with the sea at that mouth there.
Yes, I know that place.
Dropped the boat off there and then walked back to Ferry Nome, like in the rain. Got the car, came back, picked up the kayak again, and then went back to Ferry Nome again. And then this was on the 24th of December. And then when we got back to Ferry Nome, there was a bunch of George homies there as well. And we just kicked it at Ferry Nome, dude. It was one of the best Christmases I had.
Yeah, I mean, the Lost Boys Christmas is always a good one. I love it.
What's the Lost Boys Christmas?
The Lost Boys Christmas.
The Lost Boys Christmas.
Yeah, like all the people who don't spend Christmas with their families.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been like lots of times where like I'll be up the East Coast working on something, and like, you know, it's like part of the job, like, okay, we're going to be working over Christmas, so like just like me and the chums,
just on the Christmas vibes.
Yeah, dude, fully on the Christmas vibes, dude.
What did you do in, sorry, I just want to put the heater on again. I'm like cold, dude. This flat gets super fucking cold.
Oh man, Cape Town's super cold during winter.
Right. This was I lived in this flat as a student as well, and the cold air rushes into the parking lot right below us.
That sucks.
So it refrigerates the flat a little bit, so it gets like gnarly. What job did you do in wilderness?
I was just kind of doing commission-based art and a little bit of illustration, like some digital illustration here and there. I never really did any work solidly there. It was all just like, cool, I got some work this day, that day I don't. Like,
okay.
Yeah, it's like I really just fucking like fully cruised it through that place.
But I've seen
broken stoked.
I've seen some cool stuff coming out of that area. We spoke about that, Florence and Ophelia.
Yeah, I did some work for Munnik. She like runs the brand on her own, which is pretty crazy.
Munnik for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she got me to do like 1 or 2 projects with her, which was super fun.
What did you help her with?
I did like a t-shirt design for her, and did like 1 or 2 photo shoots, and yeah, just like helped her with like 1 or 2 t-shirt designs, or where she needed some work.
Yes, I'm super impressed with her company.
She's killing it, dude.
Dude, and in such a short span, they've become pretty like well known. The swimwear and stuff they've been producing looks really cool.
Yeah.
And I remember I saw a post like a while back where you were involved with that stuff.
Yeah. So I think that range was where I also did the t-shirt graphic for that. And yeah, like I don't know, good-looking people stay in wilderness for some reason.
Yeah, some cool people up there.
There's a really nice sense of community in like a kind of a whole bunch of young people staying that side. Like people have pretty good mentality up there.
Yeah, you'll be surprised by so I moved there in 2014 for the year, and I moved there with no friends, no family. I spent 1 December in George. I saw Vic Bay like once, and then within like 2-3 months I had like solid friends, dude, and I never expected to make solid. I thought there was nobody there, but there's a lot of young people there. There's a lot of young people that are keen to do stuff as well.
Yeah.
Flipping cool, bro.
Like a lot of people are also like really in touch with nature. They got like green thumbs. Dudes grow like crazy veggies up there, and you can always like score veggies off your chum. Like,
wow.
Just go over to their house, like go pick up some fucking potatoes that they grew last season or something like that. It's mad. Go to a friend's house and like go pick yourself a salad and take it home. It's so sick.
Yeah, and yeah, like I wish that's not really something we experience in Cape Town, eh?
No, not that I find. I don't know, perhaps in some circles.
I've never experienced that in Cape Town. I experienced it in PE and like in Cape St. Francis.
Yeah.
But and down in George and Plate. I spent a lot of time at Plate as well. I definitely experienced it there as well. I've met people that live outside Knysna.
Yeah.
And
where like Renendale area.
Yeah. They're fully sustained on that property. They even built like that was supposed to be like a sleeping quarters or like a room, but they turned it into a recording studio.
That's crazy.
Dude, it's flippin' rad. We had a really cool experience there.
That's really sick.
Yeah. So once again, the stuff that comes out of that area, you would think there's nothing there, but there's quite a bit of like culture going on.
Yeah.
In that area.
as a passerby, you may not get to experience it, but when you like submerge yourself in that space, you kind of get to know everyone by the by, and you get to figure these things out. It's like it's not something that's advertised to the public as a business or anything. It's like a lot of it is like people doing things because they like to do it, and that's like that's their little nest egg. That's what they like to do.
Yeah.
And when you're there, unless you know them, like you may not be able to see it or may not even get to know about it until you actually go and spend the time there.
Dude, that's exactly what we did. Me and my girlfriend got invited to their house. We just spent the Sunday there and we just made music, had a little braai, had a little walk on the property. It was flipping amazing, dude. And what's also interesting to me is they were very happy. Feels like sometimes in the city it does get a little bit heavy, and out there's this like amazing feeling of freedom.
Yeah,
like you experience like a lot of freedom out there. Plus the nature setting is amazing. I mean, even wilderness, if you live in a house there, you're either seeing the beach or you're surrounded by forest.
Yeah, it's amazing up there. I really fucking I enjoyed living there a lot, and would definitely like to make it back there soon. I find the city mentality and like where your value lies in what happiness is in the city and out there are two completely separate things.
And you have to kind of experience it first to realize, like, you have to live here and live there to really realize like how amazing
unless you are just that way inclined. I mean, comparing the two, I don't even know how you compare the two because they're so wildly different. If you like one for one reason or if you like the other place for another reason, then like that's just how you may be inclined, unless you like you have a shift. And like, okay, I've been living the city life all my life and I've really loved it, but come to this place and it's absolutely incredible, and like, okay, have to second guess like what you really think is a nice place to live life.
So do you have a favorite skate shoe?
A favorite skate shoe? She's gonna have to have a think. I think like my favorite shoes thus far is like I got given a pair of Vans skate highs, and those were really, really nice.
You never found that they rip quickly?
And the skate high pros, those things lasted pretty lekker, and they skated so nicely. Those soles just like wear in so nice and soft.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Did you get sponsorship for the shoes?
No, just like the guys at Vans. I think I bought a pair of skate highs, like the regular ones, and didn't know the difference. And I was like, I knew one or two of the homies there, and I asked them about it, and they're just like, yeah, whatever, dude, just take some shoes. Like, they're like super cool, like that with some of the chums. Like it's, I don't know, I feel like it's almost your duty, like when you have access to that stuff, like hook up the dudes who need it or whatever, and they do that, which is rad. It's just like, yeah.
But you had a Element sponsor back then.
Yeah, I skated for Element for like 5 years, and then I was with Etnies for like almost 7.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they were my first like proper sponsor as a skateboarder, and like when things started off they were super rad, but like the distribution company that managed them, like I think Jamie O'Brien from the Shred and Dope Industries, he was like the team manager, and then like things didn't really like work out, and then like we still kind of stayed on the team, but this distribution company like wasn't really managing things properly, and it kind of just fizzled out, as it did like with Element, and like I also got picked up by Ruka shortly after Element, and like yeah, with the whole changeover of like international contracts kind of like affected that, and it just kind of became like null and void.
Shit, dude, it seems to be something that happens quite a bit now. It seems to be like always like an expiry date to stuff like that.
Yeah, it's I suppose like you can't really count on it as being a thing. There's so much potential for it though, and like with the way things are going with skateboarding in this country.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially the level of skateboarding and the interest that is being taken in it now. Like when I first started skating, and the years that followed, it was so much different. There was like no, I mean I had obviously just started out, but there was like still no social media and stuff. Like those were like all getting together and like filming each other on cameras if we had cameras, and like it was like all like really shitty cell phone footage like being put together on like Windows Movie Maker, like super basic stuff. Like I used to put that stuff out all the time. I've got like a bunch on my Facebook which like pop up every year, and I go watch them. It's just like, oh my goodness.
You're probably still so young, dude.
Yeah, I think they're like small little contests which like all the chums used to pull into, and then there was like, I remember like the first like really big one that I went to was like Ultimate X. Like the first one at the waterfront.
The one that had the bikes and the BMXs.
Dude, they had
skateboarding.
FMX, they had BMX, they had like, it was crazy. I think I was like 12 years old. That first one. It was like, no ways, this is crazy.
I was still a student when Ultimate X was a thing, and homies used to froth on it, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ultimate X has now grown into like a quite a big sporting event, and it takes place at Sun City, Johannesburg. It's like, yes.
Did you skate Maloof?
I went up there, yeah, I think between the ages of 13 and 15. No, not, yeah, something like that, like 12 and 14, I think. I went up to Maloof, like, just kind of hitched a ride with those. Like, you know, I always had this dude, Mark van der Merwe, Fran. Like, he got me my first little shop sponsor and, like, introduced me to Jamie, which is, like, how I got in with Etnies. He just kind of, like, always looked out for me and, like, made a plan for me to go, which was, like, super rad. I think, like, the 1 year I stayed in the Monster Energy house. Like, it sorted me a bed there.
The one in J Bay?
No, the one at Maloof.
The one at Maloof?
Yeah, just like the accommodation that they got for the chums that side.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty wild because like I was a kid there, like no parents, freaking just running wild.
Dude,
trying to skate the park. But like I always had this thing like where, you know, the days leading up to going there, I think the last one that I went to, the day before I was trying to skate at 4 block at Toolbox Square in town, and like I was trying to tray flip it, like landed one, like did it pretty sketchy, so I wanted to do another one, and then like kicked my board out and landed with my ankle like on the last step and just like rolled my ankle like so bad. Like just like dude, such stupid shit like that I shouldn't be doing before going up there. So it was always just kind of like a fun time. Go watch the skating, like try to skate, but not really.
You seem like you were such a like hype kid when you were back then. You're like, the fact that you skated so well is like kind of an indication that you frothed on going out and skating, dude.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like now things have changed a lot. Like I suppose my interests lie in a lot of different places, and I'm just trying to realign them into a place like, you know, where I can enjoy them all. And like after being like, I wouldn't say pushed super hard as a kid, but just like watching how things have progressed now, it's not the same for me. I suppose it feels a little bit nostalgic, in a sense. But like it's just like things where I haven't quite lost interest in. I've just found other things that I'm trying to put time into doing and getting good at those things, so that I can kind of do everything all in little bits. Yeah. I don't know, like there's so many things that intrigue me that, you know, I really want to do for myself, as opposed to like, you know, like being a sponsored skater for a little while was very much like, oh, you gotta like keep up that like, I don't know, not a state of performance, but you got to keep up like that image of like keep skating all the time, like putting that up, like start putting in like the social media work or whatever. And I just like was like, nah. I enjoy doing it more for the act of doing it instead of like trying to hustle. Like
it sounds like it turned into a job basically.
Yeah, even though it wasn't. I like kind of just ended up taking a step back and being like, cool, I can do whatever it is that I like to do for the sake of doing it. Like I don't necessarily have to turn it into something that makes money. Like if it does, like sick, if it can pay for itself, like rad as well. Just like I suppose with skating I lost a bit of motivation when everything just like fizzled out sponsor wise, and I was just like living in a place where there's nowhere to skate.
Dude, it's so difficult in South Africa as well to kind of pursue that, you know.
Yeah.
Like talking to Justice the other night as well, it's a really difficult thing to pursue. There's not really, like he said a very, very valuable thing, like you should set yourself up that if you still want to skate, that you're in a position to still skate. And you do stuff that allows you to skate. You shouldn't think that you're going to skate and that's going to allow you to do stuff, you know. It's not the case in South Africa. I think there is exceptions.
Yeah, those are really wise words. I mean, Justice is a pretty wise dude. I always looked up to him growing up.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. He's always skated really well, and that's true. Like you got to set yourself up to be able to do those things. Like, you know, with the past few years, like COVID vibes.
Yeah.
Like I obviously wasn't able to set myself up to be able to skate, but to surf and play music and paint and whatever, like I definitely have set myself up for that. So that's what I've kind of been doing the past few years.
So rad, dude.
And I'm still kind of on that wavelength. I'm still getting used to being back in the city life, and like I have access to go skate a lot of things, and like all the homies have been telling me to come skate again. It's just like, yeah, it's just like it's now outside of where my habits are, even though like.
Charles, Robert, I really want you to come skating again.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's do it.
Yeah, dude, let's get that rolling. This is what I wanted to say earlier that I forgot about the Cape Town wilderness thing.
Lay it on me, dude.
It's like in wilderness, it's also difficult. The garden route, it's difficult to make a living, bro.
Yes.
There's especially in the world of culture, in the world of art and music.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, dude, it's really difficult to make a living out there. We're in Cape Town, for example. We just got to Cape Town, now we're jawling music already. Like,
yeah.
I'm frothing because I get to skate. Finally, I get to see like the inside of the skate world, and I haven't been part of it, of the Cape Town scene in a very long time.
Yeah.
And there's more than enough job opportunities around here.
Yeah.
That doesn't really seem to be the case with the garden route, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately not, but you know, that's also not really the place for it. I think, you know, like if you, and speaking from experience, I lived a lot off of playing gigs like every weekend. Even though like we didn't earn much at all, it was still like a thing. Like, okay, sick, like I haven't had work in like a week, but like I'm getting some gig money this weekend because we're playing 2 gigs or whatever. And like even though they're pretty small shows, and like you either like get like some money off the bar, or they agree to like a flat rate. It's like that kind of thing. Like, okay, sick, like this is the money that I have to live with, and you can live like really meagerly there. Just like keep the chow simple.
Yeah, you can, especially if you're getting salads from your friend's garden. If there's sly in your friend's garden, right? Yeah,
it's super cool. Like I was fishing, and like you get invited over to Bry's because it's called fish. Like it's an entire different fucking state of mind. I mean, like I was thinking about it earlier today, like the difference between living there as opposed to here. I've kind of just like fallen back into the city ways, which is like, you know, it's not entirely a bad thing. It really isn't a bad thing. But yeah, it's just like I'm trying to keep myself the reassurance of like, cool, now that you're in the city life, like parking off and like taking it easy isn't really a thing. Like if you wanna make it work for you, you kind of got to like submerge yourself back into doing the things where the opportunity lies. And I feel like I'm doing that. I'm definitely trying to set up some cool things that you know, like not only entertain my free time but help me to make money through ways that I enjoy doing, and allow me time or push me to do the things that I like doing more. Because like then again, like allowing yourself space to skate or space to surf or space to create, like, you know, do things that align with that is kind of now what I'm trying to get back into.
So rad, dude.
Just like lost up the East Coast during the pandemic. This is all I've really been, dude. But like I've learned a lot. Like
I think it's necessary to go through something like that. Sometimes going through something like that, just jawling up the East Coast, makes you kind of realize that you want to graft a bit, that you want to get some things done, you know, that you want to pursue some things that will open up doors.
Totally.
So you have to go through that experience, bro. Definitely have to go through it.
Yeah. It's been quite a big learning curve.
You grow up very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, as a kid I suppose I was forced to grow up pretty quickly. Make my own decisions. Like living in Cape St. Francis, I used to like hitchhike to the skate contests in J Bay. And like, dude, I used to hitchhike all over that place. I used to like
Really?
like bum lifts like from my house to the surf in Cape St. Francis. Like I was living in St. Francis Bay, and like there's not waves there as often as like just around the corner in Cape St. Francis. Like I was like hitchhiking and like catching taxis all over the place.
You walked as well, no?
Yeah, I walked. I had a bicycle.
Because it's not that far, like St. Francis and Cape St. Francis.
Yeah, to ride it on a bicycle after school, get a surf in, and then still get home is like a mission.
Yeah.
Like I never used to have to wait long to bum a lift to the surf.
But there were probably a lot of people surfing, right? So it wasn't too like, and I mean, you guys all roll in the community. So
Yeah, like quite a lot of people surfing, like dudes who know the surfers. So like if you're standing there with a surfboard, they're like, okay, this kid obviously wants to go for a surf. Let me give him a lift.
It's so rad.
Yeah.
So
like
rad.
became homies with the dudes from the security company. Is like bum lifts in the back of their buckies. That kind of thing. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
You hustled lift.
Yeah, hustled hard. There were a couple times where I got stuck in Cape St. Francis, like at the stop street where you start driving out. I couldn't get a lift, and it's like a school night. I'm still sitting there like 9:30 in the evening.
See,
phone's dead. Like my parents don't know where I am.
So and what, do you end up spending the night there?
No. Like eventually someone will come looking for me, find me there. They know where to find me.
Theo, we've been chatting for a solid hour. Let's take a little break. I just want to start the fire.
Sweet.
But I'm fucking really enjoying this, dude. Let's go for a part 2 while that fire's burning out.
Fuck yeah.
Round 2, Parma Deux. Theo, we've got some rollies. We've got some ice in our glasses. We've got some Floating Dutchman Rum. Dude, choose one. We got 2. We got I think we got a spiced rum, and we got a Cape rum. Right? What is that bottle?
The Cape rum sounds like a get you on.
That's the one, bro.
I think a pretty good one to have with lime and sparkling water is the spiced rum.
Spiced rum is good.
It's sweet, got lots of flavor. Or I don't know, maybe we can try one of each.
We go for it, dude. I would suggest the Cape rum. It's pretty good.
Have you had it before?
I've had it a few times, brother.
Okay.
They've been like Floating Dutchman rum. It's been really good for me. To me, the last time I drank the spiced rum, and before that I had a lot of the Cape rum, and they sent me a cool recipe where you take the rum, you dissolve some honey in the rum, add ice, and you add grapefruit, just the juice of like squeezed grapefruit. Bra, Theo.
That sounds pretty good.
10 out of 10, dude. So yeah, super nice company. They're local as well, so if you see the bottles on the shelf, get yourself one.
Floating Dutchman. I dig that monkey on the logo.
Dude, they're a cool company. Like their aesthetic is pretty dialed in as well, and the fact that they want to support like my stupid projects, my stupid side hustles. I'm fucking stoked. I'm so blessed, bro.
The passion projects are essential, bro.
Yeah, you gotta those side hustles, dude. You gotta have the side hustle.
Putting your passion into something, or like just giving your energy to something which may not turn out in the long run. It turns out in the long run, dude. It's worth doing. It's good for the mind.
This is something I talked to Jussie about the other night. Something I learned from skateboarding is perseverance.
Yes.
Try a tricky bail, repeat. Sometimes several days, several months, several years to get somewhere, and I apply a lot of that principles now in life. So with this stuff, I'm on episode 11 now. I'm excited to see what happens when I'm on episode 100.
Yeah, another thing that we've spoken about, like on the way here when we're driving here, was just like
when you stab the bra with your feet.
No, not that one. It was talking about like different levels of skateboarding, and like hanging out with homies who are like all really good, but like you bust your ass trying to land a trick, and you get it and everyone cheers for you, or it's like everyone's psyched on it, and like some dude who's really good at skating does a trick that's difficult for him, and like everyone gets really psyched on it. It's like to you as the individual, like sick, you stepping things up a bit, you just landed something sick, like on your level, like that's rad. On his level, that's rad. On your level, it's fucking maybe way better, but like there's no point in comparing it, because you're doing what you're doing, they're doing what they're doing, it's like everyone like works on their own fucking timelines or their own levels. So, like, it's cool to just cruise it and just do it for the sake of doing it, and like that's where, like, you know, skating for the love of skating, or fucking surfing for the love of surfing, or, you know, doing anything for the sake of doing it is worth doing if you like it.
Yeah, so true, dude. And also, the doors it opens for you if you stay doing it for long enough, you know?
I mean, the perseverance of it, whether you're good at it or not, it's like, it's important to do. If you like doing it, then, like, just do it, because it, like, you know, persevering in it, who knows, you might get good at it, you might not, but you're doing it because you like doing it.
My experience is that I'm not good. I've never been good, but for some reason I've always been fortunate enough that it's allowed me to be exposed to people that are really good. I mean, at the end of the day,
you're also getting to express your own creativity with whatever you're doing. That's special in itself.
Yeah,
that's important.
Yeah, I know. It feels like not a lot of people get to experience that.
Yeah.
Though. But
like, some people may be too scared to put themselves out to experiencing that. Yeah. I mean, the risk of just doing something because it makes you happy, like, there's not much in it, only if you care about what other people think.
Yeah.
Or, like, if you compare yourself to the fucking elitist or the person who does it best, then of course you're gonna feel insecure about it. But if you just do it because you like doing it, you're like, it's sick. That, like, I watched the guy do this, like, this trick down these stairs, and like, now, like, you know, I want to go do the same trick, but not down the same stairs.
Yeah.
It's
motivation.
Like, it's like, it's motivating. Even just, like, doing it for yourself.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to go anywhere. It really doesn't. But the point that you went out there and did it because you want to do it,
it's like, very valuable.
That's incredibly valuable.
Dude, yeah. But once again, I think, like, you need to be exposed to certain things, and skateboarding is definitely one of those things. I guess surfing in a way as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty similar. Like, skating and surfing are similar in some ways. They're both, like, expressions of creativity.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, in sport, I suppose. But at the same time, I've always found, like, skating is a lot more down to earth, in a way that, like, the sense of community within skateboarders is not the same as like surfing, where it's like localism, and then, like, you know, everyone's like trying to flex their shit. It's like skating is just like a bunch of homies who skate, and like, if you don't get along as people, like, sweet, whatever. But, like, the sense of community in skateboarding, like, if you go skateboarding with a bunch of dudes, like, no one's gonna be like, oh, dude, fuck off, like, I skate here all the time, like, what are you doing here at the spot?
Yeah.
It's like, as like, people are gonna be like, hey, dude, what's up? I've never seen you before, like, what's your name? Like, you know, introduce yourself. Everyone's greeting each other, everyone's kind of, like, skating together, instead of, like, you know, it's like, find surfing to be way more individualist.
I want to get into this. Get me a bottle of rum there, dude.
Yeah,
let's get one going.
Should we try out this Cape rum?
Yeah, go for it. Sweet. So, Kyle actually told me that it gets quite hostile, like, out in the open water, bruh.
Oh, dude, at Super Shoes, it's crazy. I mean,
He's
like,
told me about people that want to fight you, like, afterwards and stuff.
Yeah, like, there's been some crazy things going down. I won't mention any names, but
tell me a story, bro.
I've seen some things, and I've also heard of some things. Like, a lot of the time, it's just like a whole bunch of, like, kooks from out of town.
Yeah.
Surfing there a lot, and a lot of people move to Jeffreys Bay to go surf there, and they're like, you know, there's like a huge etiquette onto how a surfing lineup works, where, you know, it's mostly for the safety of most people out there.
Okay.
But then like where localism comes into play is like there's like a hierarchy. This is, you know, like who gets to sit at the top and who gets to like surf the best waves.
Yeah, really.
And then, like
bro.
I know like a lot of it is owed to like kooks. Like kooks really just like fuck shit up for everyone, dude. Like they don't exactly know what's going on. Like, you know, they think they do, but they don't.
What's a kook, bro?
So a kook is someone who doesn't exactly know what they're doing. Put some of that Cape rum in your glass, man.
Oh, wait, brother.
But yeah, like a kook is like someone who doesn't really quite know what they're doing in the lineup. Like call it an inexperienced surfer at like a premier surf spot, or like a you know, like a wave of consequence, if you could call it that. No, I find there's like a hierarchy in like who's better, who's not better, who's from there, who's not from there. There's like
why is it like that in surfing?
I mean, it
shouldn't your chakras be aligned when you're out there, bro?
If we lived in a utopian world.
If you lived in wilderness, you'll know. In the garden route.
Yeah, wilderness is super chill, dude. Like, with regards to surfing there, like everyone's homies. It's
Dude.
just like, I don't know, there's so much room for people to be assholes in surfing, because like
so weird,
like a surf spot's not like a skate park. Like there's like good waves and bad waves, and like on really good days there's really crowded days. Like, you know, there's like only one spot to take off, like a skate park or a street spot. It's like, I guess sick. There's like homie skating, there's different places to hit it, like that kind of thing.
Dude,
it's just like I find skateboarding like way more relaxed, even though like the people as individuals may be like super crazy. It's like it's always kind of chilled in a way. Like everyone's welcome.
Yeah.
So like that's what I've always found.
I've experienced that as well.
Yeah, that's like where people ask me, like, you know, it's like if I prefer skating or surfing more, I'd definitely say skateboarding for the like the personal sense of it. Like the social aspect of it is really fucking sick. You know, like the physical toll on your body is a lot heavier.
That's where surfing's maybe a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't say surfing's easier to get good at surfing. I think is a lot more difficult than skateboarding.
For sure, bro. For sure.
But yeah, I think like spending copious amount of hours in the water is really, really fun. I enjoy it. But like
I want to give you a little bartender tip here that my man Benjamin Berner taught me. Take the lime and then rub it on your glass, dude. So we're having
that is super clever, man.
A rum, a lime, and a soda water, and you just rub that lime on your rim there, bro. Sorry for interrupting you, Taylor.
Yeah, so you always keep that taste.
It's pretty good, dude. It's like such a simple technique. It's pretty good.
Cheers.
Cheers, homie.
Give it a
Glad
go.
you're here, bro.
That's really good.
That's really good, dude. So nice that it's not that sugary, you know?
Yeah.
But the rum still has some sugar in it.
Yeah, a bit of pirate juice gets you going.
A Johnny Depp.
But yeah, like back to the vibe between surfing and skating, and like picking that apart. Like other people may feel different. It's like just what I've taken away from all of it. It's like when it comes to competing in skating and surfing, it's a whole lot different. Like skating a contest, you basically like get put into a position, like whether it be best trick or like a jam session. You're like skating with people that you know, like outside of the contest, like they're like all your homies. When it's a contest, it's not like, oh fuck you, dude, like I'm gonna win. Like there's no like vibe of sitting in a heat out in the water waiting for a wave, and you're like trying to get into someone's head by like fucking paddling around them, or like getting up super close to them and like whispering words in their ears.
Fuck, like, dude, is that really what it's like?
Dude, like some of that happens. Like there's the hierarchy in surfing, as I just spoke about,
dude.
Like where there'll be like an older pro surfer, and like a young hotshot will like be surfing up against him, and he's like, "Fuck you, kid! Like, I'm not gonna let you win this heat." And then, like, obviously, as like the little kid hotshot, you're like, "Ah, fuck!" Like, this is
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Wim.
like, now the heat's on, and like, you know, now your tail's in between your legs, and you gotta surf the best you can. And then, like, someone who you've looked up to all your life is like, pretty much just told you like, "Fuck off."
Dude, that's
And, like, that's not cool, man. Like, when you're skating in a contest, you're basically with all these dudes, and it's like, "Ah, dude, we get to skate together. Like, sick, let's do it." Like, that part of it's fun. Like, you get to skate a contest, it may be like super heated, like everyone's trying to get a go during practices and stuff. But like, at the end of it, like, when you're skating your heat, like, you're skating with dudes, like, who you would go skate with in the street, and like, everyone's like, you skate, you do your thing. If you skate better than the other person, rad. Like,
it's a very supportive environment.
Yeah, it's super supportive.
It feels to me like it wasn't always like that. It definitely recently got like that, but I'm thoroughly surprised by the beef I'm hearing that's happening on the surfing waters, bro. I thought it was like everybody was so in tune. I cannot believe that, dude. Isn't it supposed to be a massive stress release? And then you're out there in the ocean and stuff.
I mean, to me, it's a massive stress release. I don't really get into beef with people in the water. It like never really has been my style, but you really get people who are like just super out there, like, with that kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know, like, think that they own the
personalities,
waters.
Bro.
It's like, have you ever seen the Mighty Boosh? you know that one of when the dude's out fishing, and then old Greg appears on his boat when he's really like, "What are you doing in my waters?" Like,
it's like that. What are you doing in my waters? Fuck, dude. Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm stoked on skateboarding in that sense. Especially now being back in Cape Town, I find it like such a supportive environment. I find the cats that are in that environment are super down to earth. You can go chat to them. They like ask you questions, and I'm just so surprised to hear this about the surfing community. Did you surf contest?
No.
Did you partake in the
I surfed a couple like of the locals contests. That was about it. Like, just like the Seal Point locals, and like one or two like really small contests out in like PE and stuff.
Okay.
But like that was also just like, I didn't quite like that vibe. It's like I'm not getting the waves that I want to be getting, and like now I'm put on the spot to get those waves. Like, if you're
so
skating
dependent
a contest,
on the weather.
If you're skating a contest, like, yes, that heat's on as well to perform. Like, you're being put on the spot, but also it's like, you know what you're skating, and it's like cool. Show us what you got. It's not like the whole vibe of surfing is essentially like picking out the best waves and surfing really well. But like, coming from a background of skateboarding, like, I started surfing and was like, sick. Like, this is purely just chilled. Like, I don't want to compete in surf contests. Like, a skate contest here and there. Like, go skateboarding. Like,
I guess you're surrounded by a bunch of like good homies as well in the surfing community.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah, and like living in Cape St. Francis, like, a couple of dudes like took me under their wing, like, especially working with Simon. Like, he would like shape me boards, and I'd like paint boards for him and like build up credits to get free boards, and like a couple of the older dudes
so rad, bro.
Who like, were pro surfers or are pro surfers, like, kind of guide me in the right direction of like whether I'm surfing badly or good. And like, I was just frothed on it, or still am.
Do you still have contact with him?
Yeah, I haven't spoken to Simon in a while. I've been checking out what he's doing on social media, but like, yeah, he's doing well. Like, last time I was up there, he had just built a house, like, settling in properly. He's got like a little mini ramp in his garden as well, which we built, like, the dudes built during lockdown.
Cape St. Francis.
I actually didn't have any hand in building it. Like him and a couple of dudes built it.
Cape St. Francis.
Yeah, like super small, like a 1 foot mini. But then they had a ramp outside the St. Francis Brewing Company, which they gave to him just before I left. And
I know that ramp.
Yeah, the plans with that was to turn that thing into like a mini bowl. I'm not too sure where that's at.
That ramp was pretty destroyed by the time I got to it.
Yeah, I helped build that ramp in the beginning. That was super cool.
That thing is like, dude, I love mini ramp skating. Such an accessible skateboarding way. Oh, hit you right in the throat there, brother. That's it.
Yeah, got me.
The Cape Rum will get you, bruh.
That's good.
We actually got a hold of the bowl that was in J-Bay. The one that was in the mall, moved down to the Sector 9 shop.
I remember that. We had a couple contests in there as well.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
That bowl got like tear the pod, and then we got a phone call from no. There was a skater from Joburg, Jack. I forget his surname now.
Not Jackie Diamonds. Jack.
Jack also skated for Element, dude. That dude shreds a mini ramp.
I know Jack. What's this? Brendan Diamond? No.
Jack's
completely different name.
Jack's was part of the old Element crew. I think he knew Giovanni, but way back in the day, and he's a Joburg skater. But proper skater, dude. So Jack got a hold of the Quicksilver bowl. He bought that bowl for next to nothing. And then we went on a whole mission to transport all the wood from J-Bay to PE, and I wasn't involved with the planning it much. It was Jack, Bardi, and Simon, and they pulled it off, bro. So they brought the bowl over to PE, and then we started building sections of the ramp in the parking lot down in the valley. And dude, what a fucking sick thing to skate! It was big. It's still, that bowl was massive. And then we had a lot of wood left. That thing got torn down eventually, and I see that Bardi, my friend Johan Bardenus, has also been on the podcast. I saw they rebuilt the ramp now. So they built a new, bigger ramp. I think they brought it down a little bit, so it's a little bit more manageable. And they managed to build a mini ramp next to that, dude.
The coping stuck out on that thing really nicely.
Yeah, it was it was a proper ramp, dude.
For a 5 foot ramp. I think the transition on that must have been 7 or 8 foot. It was nice and steep, and you didn't have to ollie when hitting the coping, which was the best part.
You just float out of it.
Yeah, you could kind of just hit the coping, which is super important, I find, in skating transition and especially doing airs.
Yeah,
it's when the coping's mellow, it makes it so much more difficult to skate because you got to be so much more critical. A lot of the times you kind of just you can hit the coping when it's sticking out properly, and your board kind of goes into the place it needs to go, especially if you're skating with good speed. You're kind of getting into whatever grind you need to go, and there's space for you to do whatever grind. I always enjoyed that most about that bowl.
Dude,
you could get super high on it without hitting your head on the roof as well.
So you could get airs out of the bowl?
Yeah, that little one that they had, it was originally the Quicksilver bowl.
Yeah.
I think I visited that once when I was 13. Other than that, when I moved up the East Coast, it was down at the Sector 9 shop. And that was the hangout for rainy days, or if we wanted to skate transition.
Yo, that roof was so low in that Sector 9 shop.
Yeah, but it's more you punt your board up instead of yourself. You want to tweak it out, I suppose.
That's where I saw Dean de Klerk skate for the first time, wasn't that bowl?
Yeah, Dean is now ripping, dude. He's he started out skating pretty good transition, getting into the street vibe, and he just I don't know, came into his own. He's really skating well, dude.
He's a pretty technical skater,
he's gotten super tech. It's mad, dude.
A lot of feels like a lot of flips into slides, slides into flips.
Yeah.
Pretty technical stuff, dude.
Yeah, he's getting down on it, dude.
Dude, yeah, yes. So did you grow up with Dean in the Eastern Cape?
Yes.
You got to know him in the Eastern Cape?
Yeah.
And he has a brother as well?
Yeah, Damon de Klerk.
Also a skater?
Yeah. Damon was skating on Element, but we're talking about this earlier.
But, okay, so I'm confused then.
Are we talking about different Deans?
Yeah, I think we are talking about the same one, like the Dean I'm thinking about. You guys
With the
went
blonde
to,
hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Damon's little brother, dude.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But who was sponsored by Element? Both of them?
Yeah, so...
What?
Yeah, Damon used to be
That's
on
why
the
I'm
Element
confused,
team.
dude.
Shit. So Damon was on the Element team when I was a kid. And then he moved over to New Zealand. And then Dean got much better at skating as well. And he also got on the team later on.
Okay.
After Damon had moved.
Did Damien like feature in the sessions and blunts and stuff?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I still had a poster on my wall like when I was like 13 or 14 of like it was like a Element stick tips they used to have in the session magazine. Damon was one of them for like a front side tuck knee on a quarter pipe. Like he like that was like signature fucking move, dude. He had those things so dialed.
Dude, I had this experience the other day talking about the trick tip stuff. Like apparently Giovanni was involved with the trick tips as well.
Yeah.
And there was actually a dude in Battery Park that approached him and was like, yo, I still remember your trick tips from way back in the day.
Dude, that's crazy. I was digging through my mom's garage the other day. And I found my entire collection of AV CDs.
No way.
Yeah, or like AV videos. I've got them at my house now. I've yet to get a DVD player to play them through.
Do you still get DVD players, bro?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you try hard enough. A couple second-hand stores. But yeah, I'm pretty psyched to go have a look at all of those again. I don't have a CD-ROM in my new laptop. Could maybe get one.
Did you obsessively collect the AV videos?
Well, they were always given out, and like I got really psyched on them because like, you know, in South African skateboarding, that's what pushed me a lot. Like watching homies go skate the spot in like an AV video, and you're like, I know where that spot is. Like go skate it as well.
AV was part of the session.
Yeah.
Thing, right? So
yeah,
true.
there's still like old session videos. Like the dude who stayed across the road from me when I lived in Tableview, like he had like all the session videos, and like he got me super hyped on skateboarding because like his dad had built him like 2 kicker ramps, a fun box, like we had like a bunch of flat bars to skate, and that was like always readily available to us.
Mega dad.
Yeah. Like buddies used to drive us to the skate contests and
so
stuff.
Sick.
Yeah, like we got super amped, and like just in our neighborhood in Tableview there were like 10 dudes at one point who would just like all come skate all this shit outside his house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like really what got me psyched. Like that started pushing me hard. It was like all the dudes skating together, like guys progressing, like push other dudes progressing. Yeah, it's fucking really cool, dude.
It really pushes your skateboarding when you're in an environment like that.
Yeah, especially like when you're surrounded by people who skate better than you. It's like it almost pushes the level of it.
Yeah, dude. On a completely different topic now. I'm really excited about the music stuff we're gonna do this year.
Yeah, I'm like I couldn't be more blessed to start jamming in a band with you, dude.
You were all aware, dude. I appreciate that. Same here, dude. I'm really frothing on like jamming with you. I'm really impressed with the stuff you're doing on your guitar. And I'm super excited to like jam with Andy and Matt and G and to get to know them better. I think
myself included.
I think the time we're taking to get everything rehearsed, it's gonna be so valuable, dude. By
Definitely.
October, November, we're just gonna be up there like double tapping the snare on the fucking surf rock riffs. It's gonna be sick, dude.
Yeah, dude, that whole kind of that cowboy music is really cool, and like for myself, I mean it's really refreshing. But I mean like Andy's expressed this to us, like it's really refreshing having new people in the band, and like you know there's room to change things up.
No.
Um,
No.
yeah, I'm definitely keen to learn some of their songs and like get really in tune with that side of things. And,
Yeah, me too. Dude.
And yeah, the boys are also keen to explore new things too.
Yeah, I checked some of their, like they have a music video on YouTube, some of the old stuff, dude.
Yeah.
I think it's Blue Eyes or something. Let's check it out.
Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes is the one, dude. That is it.
Let's check it out.
It's a really good music video.
Velvet Palomino.
Yeah, I've watched it many times.
Let's see, bruh.
Yeah, someone was asking me the other day what a palomino is, and I was actually like, it's a horse. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
It's a type of horse. Yeah. It's a really beautiful looking horse.
Wow. Palomino is a genetic color in horses consisting of a gold coat and white mane and tail. That's fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, it's out there. It's quite a crazy cool name, especially for the kind of music that we're looking at playing.
Yeah, dude.
And it's like for me, it's such a shock. Like already like getting to play with Velvet Palomino. Like they were pretty established on the scene when I started listening to them, and then I got to kind of know those when I got asked to come jam with Andy. And we talked about getting it going, and he told me we're bringing you on board. Like I've been a big fan of Skeleton Coast from when it started.
No way, dude.
Lost many quart bottles to the mosh pit at your shows.
We used to have some wild
yeah,
mosh pits too.
Like, dude, myself and my friends used to froth out and coming to watch your shows, especially living out the East Coast. There's not too much of that going down.
That's exactly my perspective about it as well. We were in the right place in the right time, and like the Eastern Cape, we had nothing, dude. There was no music, so it was really refreshing actually being in the Eastern Cape doing it, and then like doing the circuit in Cape Town as well. Yeah. I actually remember you. I didn't know you back then, but
yeah, I mean, we didn't really quite get to know each other. It was always like, yeah, what's up, dude?
Yeah, but you showed up to. We just started, and you showed up to a gig we did at that bar.
Was it not JB Bruco?
It was JB Bruco, and
you had another one at work.
Yes, but the at work one was much later. But the JB Bruco one, we were starting out. I think it was the first year.
Yeah, I think you guys had like 6 songs in your set.
Yeah, dude.
It was like a 30-minute show.
Yeah,
it was power, dude.
Dude, it was so weird to me because I think Billabong hired us to play like a private event.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And it's weird when you play a show and everybody, there's nobody there and everybody's sitting down and you're playing to people that's older and they paid you to be there. And I remember seeing you at that show, dude.
I think I was like 17.
Yeah, you were still flipping young, dude.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you there.
It's almost 6 years ago.
And then, it was a long time ago. And then literally like a year later, we started doing the JB Open circuit as well. And that's where things started getting wild. There was like at those work shows at work or whatever the place was called.
Okay, so yes, at work was the next year after that.
That got fucking wild, dude.
Yeah.
Plus, we got some cool bands to join with us. We got the 1 year, the Moths were there. The instrumental like surf rock group.
Yeah, I watched that as well. That was sick.
Dude, what a sick band. What a bunch of nice guys as well. And the Diamond Thug. I might get their name wrong.
I'm not too sure.
Let me just double check.
I do remember.
They were a sick band as well.
I do remember when you guys played that gig at work.
Yeah.
I had gotten there super early with a couple friends of mine, and we started playing pool against each other for drinks.
Yeah.
Like loser buys the winner, like either a shot or a beer or something, or a shot or a quart. They were selling quarts there like super cheap, and I think I just went like 8 to 10 rounds like of pool in a row, just like beating everyone. And there would be like someone who walk in the door and like want to play pool, and they'd beat them. Then you guys arrived to set up for the show, and I think I played against. I think I played against Munro.
Okay.
Or I played against Kyle, and beat him and like he bought me a shot, and then like played against Liam and Munro. Perhaps I can't quite remember, or like Liam and Giovanni, and like beat them as well. And I was just like, I was laughing so hard. I was like, I beat the whole of Skeleton Coast at pool.
Well seasoned, bro. Well done.
Yeah, and like all the people who like pretty much like sponsoring me at the time, like were all there, and I was like absolutely rat-faced, just really enjoying the show. Just like lose a quart bottle in the mosh pit and then like go get another one and take it straight back in, a couple sips and like lose it again.
Bro, I got a little bit worried that night because of the mosh pit. Like, it was the first time. Yeah, no, it wasn't the first time jawling there, but literally a year back we were in that Bruco place with nobody there.
Yeah.
We played another show there where there was like this half circle of people in front of us, just like one row of people not reacting to the music at all, and then literally like a few months later showing up to that at workplace, and it got out of hand due to the like people were shirtless. I remember that like whole skate crew, Mark, Dylan was there. There were friends of mine from Oudtshoorn there, Glenn David.
Like all the chums are there, and it's so weird, like, you know, when you're playing like upbeat music, you know, like you write this music and play it because you don't necessarily want people to dance, but to react to it in a certain way. Like, you know it's groovy and it is something that works.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to work for everyone, but like a bunch of your friends or a bunch of people will come to the show and no one will react to it, and you know, it gets awkward. It's like it like makes you start doubting like what you're playing. Like, is it actually, does this actually resonate with people?
Yeah.
And then like after the show, like people will be like, that was really good. And it's like,
yeah.
I don't know if you're lying to me or not.
There was literally like, I think the first few months, dude, I'm gonna tell you this and then I need to go pee, but like the first few months of like doing that, I never looked up from my drum set. I never looked up. I
remember that.
Like, I just used to sit. I used to put my arm on the drum set like that, and I was just looking down. And then when it was time to work, I put in the work. And then when the song was done, I just put down my head again, just like look at nothing, because I was like, you know, it was like a.
I think that's also like why we never really quite met properly. You know, it was like you're always drumming, but super powerfully, like. Oh, this guy fucking rips. And then I think like I met you and we literally just did like exchange names and was like, hey, what's up, dude?
Yeah, I did. For me, I'm quite an introvert, so it takes me a bit of time to break the ice.
Yeah.
And back then, one thing that was interesting about the Eastern Cape, I was surrounded by English people the whole time, and I'm like a proper Afrikaans, so I come from the Plaas and stuff, so to be part of the music / skating community / dental community is quite I find myself like in weird.
You've come from a very far and different place.
Yeah.
As to where you are now. I mean, like, sick. You're a dentist, but like from like where you grew up, like Plaaslewe is completely different to like you know, like what we're working on together, as you know, as being in a band now, but. Well, together at least you've jammed with fucking Skeleton Coast for quite a while. Like doing that vibe, like skating and all of that. That's not exactly the norm of someone who comes from the farm, dude.
Wow, dude. So with that in mind, it was at the beginning. It was a bit of an adjustment for me to be able to kind of chat to people. It really takes me some time to warm up to people and to be able to break the ice. So back then, fucking just used to play drums. And then I just kind of disappeared afterwards. And during the set, I was kept quiet and like just kept to myself. I saw the same thing with Liam. Like me and Liam were both like a little bit drawn back at the beginning, and then by the end of the shows, we used to get drunk before the shows and stuff. It was such a draw, such a draw. Dude, I gotta go pee. Theo, I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
It, dude. It's nice to hang with you, chum.
Oh, wait, chuma. So lekker to have you here. Another rumpy. Treat yourself. just a single. Seeing that we still have to drive the Uber back home tonight, we'll only be having single rums. You have lime with you. You use everything.
I have some lime with me, dude.
I'm just gonna finesse my little rum here with some lime. Dude, but another thing about the music, I've always been in projects where I'm blessed with quite eccentric frontmen, dude. Like Kyle was such a presence.
Yeah, he really was.
And he's such a nice guy, and I learned valuable things.
He plays like this very white and gold Gretsch guitar. Yeah, like dude, that thing is like wearing like a gold chain if you're a rapper. I didn't even know about guitars. Like I'm only thinking of that guitar like from when before I even knew what guitars were, and I recognize it as a Gretsch now that I look at them. That's like a really, really pretty flashy guitar, and you know Kyle's quite an out there dude. He's pretty eccentric.
Yeah.
He's a big personality, dude.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy, dude. He's a dad these days.
Yeah, man. Hell. And she's like, Kyle's been nothing but the raddest dude, like always. Whenever I've had the pleasure of speaking to him, and even surfing with him, like he's always just such a G, dude.
Dude, Kyle, and I want to carry this over to you, especially seeing that we're doing this music together. Like one thing I learned from Kyle is he told me one day, like he doesn't want the band to be a negative influence, like a negative effect. He doesn't want to necessarily introduce things to young drums that might influence them negatively. And he had an experience where the young surfing kids were coming up to him and being like very frothed on his music.
Yeah, I mean, I was valuable. One of them, dude. I am one of them.
I found it so valuable, like the fact that you are in a position kind of setting an example, and you can set a good example. There's a lot of power in that.
For sure.
And shout out to my boy Kyle Myers. And now,
Kyle,
dude, I really want you on this podcast, dude. I know you probably don't listen to this shit, but I really want you on here, dude. I've tried, but you became a dad instead. So I'll try again.
Nothing like a set of headphones to keep the baby quiet.
Yeah, maybe not their baby, but like in general.
I'm just kidding.
They have their baby looks so cute, dude. Looks like such a happy child.
I bumped into Kyle at Vic Bay just before I left, and had a quick conversation with him. It was the first time I saw their baby. My goodness, is it cute, dude.
You saw the baby?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, I haven't seen.
I think Mariska was out surfing, and Kyle was looking after the baby. Bro. Had a little catch up and just like cruise on into the water.
I miss him
just
so much.
Just miss Mariska. She had just paddled out. I think they were on their way home or down the coast or something. But yeah, it was like I always find myself bumping into Kyle in like nonchalant places.
Yeah.
And like having a quick catch up. Like man, he's always such a legend. Like Mariska, like with her working on Billabong and Element, and like you know, like being in contact with her all the time, like she was always just so rad as well.
Yeah.
Like I feel like those two are an absolute power couple, dude.
Bro, such a lovely group of people together. I love them so much. Kyle lived with me for a while in PE, and it was such a pleasant experience because I have a dog, a little Boston Terrier called Ricky Bobby.
No,
Ricky is quite like a presence in Parma, and that's where the name of the podcast comes from. Is that place I lived in Parma.
Okay.
And I lived in Parma Deux, and that's Parma Deux because of the French homies that lived with me. But for a while, Kyle was living with me, and he worked from home. So I would wake up in the mornings, go to work, come back. Kyle would be sitting in the bed, busy typing. Like he wrote surfing articles for Zigzag back then. I think he still did.
I recall this. Yeah.
And then he would have Ricky in his bed with him, dude, just chilling, and he loved that dog, dude.
Kyle writes really good content.
He's a well-spoken man, dude. He's a well-read
he really
man.
Is.
He's a well-read man. I always the way he puts articles together is pretty impressive.
I look up to him a lot in many ways. He's a stand-up dude.
Yeah.
Just as it goes. Like, got a backhand of steel, dude.
Dude, bro, if you ever get the chance, now if you see him again, like, ask him. I don't know how you should state the question, but ask him like to explain to you how he surfs. Like, he has this thing where he goes like, yeah, bro. So I went up the wave and I just hit that top ledge like, wow. I just hit that top ledge like, wow. And then I came down and it was like, ah. And then I turned that corner and it was like, ooh, bro.
There's like a, you know, that viral video of that dude in California where he's like talking about his surf at Newport Wedge or something.
I've seen it.
Like, and then I was just in the barrel and came out and was like, what, dude?
Dude, that's like every time Kyle, so once again, I don't know anything about surfing, and every time he explained surfing to me, it wasn't that in that like way of explaining, and I loved it. And then I'm on the nose. I was on the nose like this, bending down low, and then I was just like, wow. And then I came down and it just like,
fuck, man.
I used to love it, dude. Yes.
Yeah, I suppose that's how most outsiders to surf listen to surfers speak about their surfing. Just claiming it, dude. Freaking whoop-ah.
That like his passion about surfing was also so like addictive, you know. It made you like, he was one of those people that the way he played music and the way he did surfing, and for all those cats, for Gio and Liam, they made you want to take part in it, you know. Like you went out with them skating or playing
and are
music.
inclusive in it too.
Yeah, dude, they were so supportive, and I loved that. I frothed in that environment. I really learned a lot from that.
Yeah, like, you know, being good at one thing and like having a passion for it is really cool, but being inclusive towards other people to it is even more important.
Yeah.
It's like there's no point in just doing it because you want to do it.
So
even though like
rewarding.
You're doing it because you want to do it, but like, you know, there's a whole bunch of other people out there doing the exact same thing because they want to do it, and being inclusive of that makes it all the more special.
Yeah. No, for damn sure, dude. And they were very good at that. Like, all of them were very good at that.
Yeah.
Wonder where they flippin' got taught that skill, bro. Because they definitely taught me that skill.
Yeah.
Oh, they flippin' hell, good days. I really miss it. The time where that music project stopped, it felt like a really empty void in my life where there was something missing. Dude, it was hectic. Like, I was so used to, because during the time of the band I was working full time, I was studying part time, and was doing the band part time. So I was so used to being like on the go 24/7, and when the band stopped, I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with my time now, you know? So that's why I'm so grateful. When Andy contacted me last year, oh man, I was so grateful for that. Like, initially he had the idea that we was forming a new band with a few skating cats from Cape Town, and then he came back to me and said like, look, let's revive like the Velvet Palomino thing.
Yeah,
we've got you in the picture
like
now.
Said the same thing to me, dude, and I was like, almost like, he was like, yeah, we got Willem from Skeleton Coast, like, also wants to join. I was like, no freaking ways.
Dude, so it's such a surprise for me to hear people talk like that.
First thing I said was like, let's add some spice, dude. Like, let's have a couple tracks where we go like way harder, because I know Willem facilitates that stuff. And he was like, yeah, well, let's talk about it, let's do it.
Yeah, I think it might be a bit of a shock for the boys. With my drumming, I tend to be a bit aggressive, and I think I need to dial it a bit back a bit. I listened to our recordings we did on the phone the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know if the drums are just really loud or if I'm playing too hard.
The phone's generally right by the drums.
Yeah, I don't know, it felt like my drums were very overpowering.
Yeah.
I felt like I need to take maybe a step back.
We've had like four sessions together,
We've got,
and also we haven't had Andy's drums. I mean, Andy's vocals there, because he's been overseas. We had them there for the first session, and we kind of jammed it out, and it was quite sick.
we've also been having bad luck with our rehearsals.
Yeah,
fuck, we
being
have
double
bad luck.
booked like pretty much every time.
Dude, how
now
the
trying
fuck?
to figure out like a space where we slot in, where like, you know, if we had it down tight like from the beginning, when we first like from the first practice, like it's difficult to feel things out from the first time, but yeah, we just like haven't had the best of luck.
Yeah.
And like trying to pick up where you left off like 2 weeks later is a bit difficult. But I know that we will find that rhythm, and it will work itself out. And I said like not really knowing the drums and not really knowing what is exactly going to happen or what is expected of you as a person in the band, or like what you're going to contribute, because you're not too sure what like the other dudes in the band would like to play. You know, there's that little like, you know, the icebreaker of feeling it out. And you know, like after a few sessions, I think the dudes are really psyched. I'm like, okay, it's like let's build a set that will go from, you know, lighthearted to, you know, like, I wouldn't say debaucherous, but like, holy shit, this is fucking crazy, man.
yeah.
Like that kind of thing. I'm super psyched on doing that, and like within that you get to play so many different ways.
Yeah, we're gonna have an interesting time ahead of us.
I mean, even just that session that you and I had last week together, like the other dudes couldn't make it, and it was just us kind of cruising. Like we
came up with some pretty fucking decent stuff, dude.
And like stuff that is a little bit different, but still falls within the same vibe. It's just like driving a bit more power into it. I think using the same kind of vibe and like putting it up a notch facilitates your drums, drawing them back to a specific point where you're not really drawing yourself back. You just, you know, everyone's kind of fitting into each other.
Yeah,
I think that's cool.
I think it's really cool as well. No, I'm really excited, dude. I'm really impressed with Matt as well. The guitars he keeps on rocking up with there is quite impressive.
He's got some crazy gear. He's got a great sound.
Yeah, he's pretty tuned in. I'm really impressed with him. G as well. Such a good bassist.
I had a chat with him the other night, and he was telling me like he feels really comfortable like playing as a rhythm guitarist, and like looking at myself, like, you know, trying to play rhythm with the little band experience that I have. It's like the way that he plays rhythm is so sick.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
he's
well seasoned.
He has some crazy fills in his strumming that like, you know, like I struggle to do. I think we're gonna gel well, because like I feel like everyone does their part well, and you know, like the more we jam together, the more we feel each other out.
Yeah. No, I think it's gonna be very lucrative. I also dig the fact that we're not first timers. I've been in some, like, and this is gonna sound so fucked up, but like I was always like very, very like blessed being around well-versed musicians, you know, like,
yeah.
I don't know, like Giovanni is like a serious guitarist, dude.
Yeah, I've listened to his leads on your guys' album back and forth.
Bro, he impressed me so much, and like his knowledge regarding his gear was so impressive. But Gio went back home, and on his own he would write stuff, and then him and Liam would get together, and Liam is like fucking Russell Crowe in Beautiful Mind, dude. I'm pretty sure that cat sees like numbers and stuff on the wall, bro, like Matrix shit. Very good musician.
Yeah.
Me and him did a few like stunts where we would do bass and drums in their music room.
Dude, when you find a dude who understands the bass well, don't let him go.
Yeah,
like put a chain on his leg and bolt it to the wall. It's like one of my best friends, Pat Cole. I've like played in a band with him for a while now, and he writes some beautiful bass melodies, like, you know, stuff like he picks up from all sorts of different places, or like, you know, like on the spot he can think of something that would go super well with it's like as a guitarist or as a vocalist, like you're there to make the song look pretty. Like the thing that drives it is the bass and the drums, and you know, the way that Pat will accommodate a good riff on the guitar is absolutely insane. He says some things like, it sounds better than the lead at some points, and you're just like, dude, this is mad. Like,
so
we want you up front.
Did Pat go to school with you?
No, not at all. So Pat and I had met by through my visits in Wilderness in the past.
Okay.
And then when I moved to Wilderness, I became really close with him, and he was playing bass in a band called Datura. It's like a local George Wilderness bass band, and they're like super cool, like very very like indie psych rock vibes. Like,
okay.
Yeah, it's like kind of bouncing between indie and psych rock, like bit of bedroom pop, like really really cool. Like their shows carried a lot of energy.
Dude, that's so sick.
Especially amongst the crowd, they're like super well known.
Datura.
Yeah, Datura. They got like one single out on Spotify. Like a couple months ago, it hit 10k streams, which I was
fucking
like, yeah, dude, super proud of those shows.
That's really good.
Yeah.
You know, there's another like super sick bassist is Sikle.
Sikle, dude, he
tough guy band, bro. Check it out, tough guy band.
Yo, tough guy, dude. They bringing the scene by storm, especially here in Cape Town. I'm really digging their music.
Yo, bro, I froth on those cats.
And then like Desmond, just myself and Andy were having a funny conversation the other day. Like Desmond just is Cape Town's music scene. I was like scrolling through Instagram.
I love that dude so much. I love you, Des. Fucking hell.
Dude, Des, you're a fucking legend, man.
You always have the best dance moves, bro.
Yeah, best DJ sets at Sephiroza included. Always know what's going down. Like, yeah, dude, fucking watching like Runaway Nuns as well when I first got to Cape Town after finish high school. Like,
what amazing, man.
Like watching so many of their shows. I don't know, I heard there was a rumor of the dudes like restarting again.
I really hope they do, man. Like
that would be sick. But like tough guy, I feel like brings that Runaway Nuns energy. Like,
yeah.
But like a little bit harder.
Yeah, for sure. I'm like, there was something else. Sikle plays in another project as well. I'm so bad with names and dates, dude. I struggle to remember that.
It's not Old Man Coyote.
That's his Instagram name.
That's his stage name.
That's the man's Instagram.
That's his porn star name.
Yeah. His Pornhub. If you look for him on Pornhub, it will be under Old Man Coyote. That new single they released with Tough Guy, Sugar.
Man, that song is so good.
That's a bang of a track.
Yeah.
I really, dude, if they played tomorrow night, that would have made my month. That would have made my month.
Ask Sikle nicely. I feel like he may say, hi Andy, thank you for the offer.
Yeah. Dude, yeah.
We had a chat about that message that Andy sent to us about repeat after me. Hi Sikle, thank you for the offer. So and so. We're not going to be playing for a while. I had a conversation with Dad about it with Dad the other night. Like
with who? With Andy or Sikle?
With Sikle.
Yeah.
And man, he laughed. Yeah, he had a good gag at that one.
Yeah, but we're in a blessed position to be approached even though we don't have anything.
Yeah.
Once again, the Cape Town scene is fucked like that, and they're all inclusive, super supportive.
It's rad. It's rad that is the way. They're like, there's no point of like, I don't know, so far from what I see, it's not like, oh, we're like we're like super hot shots, and like we're looking for bands to come like open for us, or like whatever it may be. Like the O's are like, dude, please come play with us because we think we'll make a rad show.
Yeah,
like,
and they want to see your shit.
Like that's the attitude that I've seen, and it's like sick. Yeah, they do want to see your shit. So it's like, sick, come play with us. Like we want to see how it is. Like they super rad with that stuff, dude. And like, you know, like as you come up to them after shows and like, you know, come give them praise. Like, dude, that was so rad. It's such a pleasure to meet you. I'm a huge fan. Like, those are so mellow and it's so rad. Like,
yeah, they're very approachable.
Like super humble.
Very humble, dude.
And it's super sick because, like, you know, whether you like it or not, like everyone lives in the same city, but at the same time, like there's that scene that's there, and it's like, you know, if you haven't been to experience it, or it's like, you know, this is something that you listen to, and then you go watch a show, it's like the dudes are there. They're just people. That's all. It's like, well, like everyone's just a person, but like fucking dudes are there. And you just go, it's like, have a chat, go say what's up. Like you can,
yeah, dude,
you can do that, and it's like it's rad. It pulls it like makes it that much more fucking sick,
dude. That's exactly how I experienced it as well. So when I was younger, I was pretty like, in a way, clued up with the skating scene and the music scene in South Africa. But I would get legit like starstruck when I see these people.
Yeah, me too, dude.
You know, like,
I'm like, holy shit, these people are so good at playing the instruments.
Dude,
my goodness.
Yeah, I would get starstruck. I would like see Justice, and I was like, can't believe I'm like these people are eating at my house, you know. Or like I had this experience with the whole Runaway Nuns band and like Black Lung and all those cats, and I was like,
yeah, I mean,
I can't
Black
believe
Lung's got like one of the craziest sounds I've heard in, like, you know, pretty much any band really.
Dude, they've got their like original drummer back. Mel's back.
Yeah, Mel's back, dude.
And she's shredding it, dude.
I was having a chat with Justice about that the other day, and it's like, dude, like after 10 years, like revisiting all those memories and stuff, like it's been a shock. And, you know, like for him to feel that way, and like they just finished recording their album, I think.
Yeah. They
it's
did,
like,
yeah.
dude, I'm
not sure.
I'm so psyched to listen to that stuff.
Dude,
they have or haven't, like.
You know what it means, man.
I know they're jamming together, and at some stage soon we're gonna be watching a show together.
That's exactly what it means.
And
yeah.
it's just gonna be like, holy shit! Like the Lungs back, but they're gonna sound. They're gonna have a different sound or the same sound, or I don't know, like what those dudes have been up to. They've been pretty secretive with it.
I think they've been going through what we've been going through. I think they've been rehearsing. They've been putting in the work in the shadows, dude.
Yeah, and it's so rad. Like it's so fucking inspiring. I'm so psyched on it. I can't wait to watch another Lung show, dude.
We're in for some good music, Tao. For 2 years, it's been like so quiet, and this year it feels like it's the first time we're in the sweet spot, bro.
Yeah, based on what's happening, like at this stage, in the music scene, like I feel like I'm watching a gig like every week.
Exactly.
And they're really fucking good.
I'm frothed, bro. When we watched that like retro Dizzy set that night that fucking hot evil.
Better than fucking ever, dude. Like,
bro, the first 2 or 3 songs they played, I lost track because it was so fucking warm. But like the first 2 or 3 tracks they sang was so hot, dude. It was such a fucking hard track they played. Like the way they brought it together, the drums were simple, but it was super aggressive. Yeah. And like Richard's vocals, his take on the vocals was, I think it was he was saying something like automatic, or like fuck, I don't know what. And I was
Automatic Expectation. that was like the main song, dude? On their latest release. That was their main song on their latest release.
Dude, he said that, and that place just started misting up in there.
Yeah,
he said that's
it was a popular track. That song is so good, dude.
Dude, it was so impressive. Yeah. It was so impressive.
I've frothed on Dizzy for a long time, dude, and I'm psyched to see them playing again. And like Richard has like been mentoring me a little bit, like when it comes to, like he's psyched that I'm playing music, and
I don't know Richard, bro. I really want to get to know him. He seems like
he's
such
a
nice
homie,
guy.
dude. Yeah, he's a homie, and he, like, you know, he's been hyping me up a lot, like getting me psyched on doing this thing. Because, like, I'm also, like, kind of just cruising into it, like, don't really know what I'm doing. But I'm like, you know
we don't. None of us know what we're doing. Right?
Riding with the big dogs, pissing in the long grass, I suppose. Like, you know, like homies who really know what they're doing or don't, or fuck, I don't know, dude.
Dude, but Richard definitely knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
well conditioned.
Yeah, he's a great
well-conditioned musician.
And like, you know, the rest of Dizzy and like the new dudes that they got on there, fucking Dares.
The cat from the valley.
Dude.
I think I'm gonna get his name wrong.
Like, Richard has told me so many times, and like I honestly keep forgetting. I'm so terrible with names and stuff, dude.
He does like that metal work, dude. He does some pretty intense fucking aesthetic metal work. I want to say Shawl, but I'm not sure if it's Shawl.
But the Valley were also fucking insane, dude. I watched a couple shows of the Valleys, and it's like so rad. Like, so fucking good.
Bro, they were impressive band. You know what's funny about the time, the Valley? Do you know the 38s?
No, I
play
don't.
you some of their music. Warren that played for the Lungs.
Yeah.
The drums for them, and they had Johnny Tex. Like, I'm not sure if he was lead guitar or rhythm guitar. I don't know the difference. They had Pierre Geldnys, which was a homie of mine from like back in school. So I realized that in the area where I'm from, it's Vredendal, which is my hometown. There's a place.
You know Forster?
Yeah, I know Forster, bro. I love Forster.
Yeah, I remember him in the Swan Skate video. Yeah, we became chums like a few years back. He's on the other side of the spectrum, dude.
Yeah, I'm so proud of Forster. I'll tell you now about Forster. But so it was Klaver, Vredendal, and Lutzville. Anton came out of Lutzville.
Yeah.
He played in the scene the same time I did. I came out of Vredendal, and then Pierre came out of Klaver, and we were all like doing the music thing at the same time. I thought it was such a fucking weird thing that we all came from nowhere.
Yeah.
And now we're playing music in Cape Town. I really enjoyed that. Dude, I want to tell you about the story about Retro Dizzy. So
yeah, lay it on me.
We played a show with them in Bohemia way back in the day, and my girlfriend's in town, and we go to the show, and Retro Dizzy is on the stage performing, and we're right next to the stage at the bar at Bohemia on the lower level.
Yeah.
And we're getting a drink, and half of the band decides they're gonna go full naked, bro.
Yeah, I know for those shows.
Bro, in Stellenbosch, those cats decide to go full naked. The next moment, there's this humongous dick like on the stage hanging next to my face, and my girlfriend's face is just like in shock, dude. She's like, what the fuck? What's going on, dude? And I was having the best time of my life. I thought like, well, it doesn't get better than this, dude. Like,
you're like, holy shit.
Are you not entertained, bro?
You're like fucking playing on the show with the chums, like fucking next thing dicks are flying out.
Bro, they didn't give a fuck. Apparently they did that a few times, dude.
Yeah. I watched them do that at Mercury. That was insane.
They did it at Mercury as well?
Yeah, dude. I'm pretty sure it was, I'm pretty sure it was Mercury. So, fuck, dude. It was out there.
Oh, man. I love that fucking hell. Respect to that band. Tao, I think let's clap that braai, dude.
Let's do it.
I think the calls are ready. I really appreciate this chat. Thank you so much,
me too, dude. It's been a journey.
Yeah, dude.
Couple different topics. Couple chats. Yeah, dude. It's been nice to exchange stories with you, dude.
Yeah, way, dude. I think the whole thing is like, I just want people to sit here and just talk cuck with me.
Yeah.
And I think we accomplished that. I think like I told you earlier,
There's some truth in the cuck that we've been speaking.
So true, dude. Either cuck than talking serious stuff. And like I told you earlier, like the thing starts off like so like stop and go in a while, and then when you hit that second part of the interview, it really starts flowing. So I really appreciate that, dude, and thanks for flipping showing up tonight, dude. I'm really excited.
Yeah, thanks for having me, dude.
What the future holds, and fuck, dude, come skating with me. I've told you so many times.
I'm psyched to jam with you. Let's go skate, dude.
Oh wait, shut over me.
Sweet, dude.